like I would say I was in the top shape of my life. I felt good. Going to Vegas, I was good on weight.
Everything's going smooth. And so the last week, even week before, they had never given me any problems with this weight, never had any problem. And so the day before the day of the weigh-in.
I don't know how it happened. It just hurt me really bad. My body was not sweating. I had a plastic on, nothing. I wasn't dripping, no sweat. Me as a fighter, I would do anything until I died to make that weight, to die inside the ring, did whatever I could to win a fight, to make sure I performed at my best.
We didn't make weight. We had to face the whole world. And the whole world threw it back at us because we didn't make weight. But I know my son, and I know how responsible he is and what he does.
To me, I felt like I let everybody down. Golden Boy, I let, my fans, everybody that's driven out there just to see me fight.
He's the one fighter, I believe, that when he tells me, and he tells me in my face, Robert, I didn't eat or drink. I went to bed at 119, I woke up at 123. There's no logical explanation. I said, look, let's put that behind us, let's look forward.
To winning a world title, and now to be saying, hey, I gotta go grab another title, it's tough, it's hard. And like I said, to myself, I feel I have to start all over. All I can do is leave that in the past. I'm still young, I'm only 25 years old. I'm a former world champion, still undefeated. And I'm ready to grab some other titles at this weight class I'm moving up to.
And there you see the Matador, Randy Caballero, moving up a division, the 25-year-old former IBF world champion. But because of injuries and because he couldn't make the weight, was unable to ever defend that title. He's fighting in his hometown at Fantasy Springs. Basically, Fantasy Springs made this kid, Randy Caballero. This is his backyard. He's from Coachella. The last time he was here, July of 2013. Since then, he fought in Florida, Japan, and Monaco. Hometown favorite, a big crowd here to watch for him. The Desert Sun newspaper had him on the front page. And there you see him come out in his traditional Matador garb. And yes, he is using Matador by the Fabuloso Cadillacs. There he enters the ring, Randy Caballero, undefeated.
This is not the homecoming he had envisioned for himself after he traveled overseas to earn a world title shot by beating a tough contender in Japan, and then traveling to Monaco to beat another tough customer, a former champion, to win the vacant IBF bantamweight title. He thought his homecoming would be as an undefeated world champion. Well, he's still undefeated, but he's no longer a champion, Steve, and he's no longer a bantamweight.
Yeah, and in fact, it was 11 months ago that it was scheduled for his first title defense at home, and then he had a lower ankle injury, he had blood clots. In fact, they were talking about him actually having some surgery where amputation was actually discussed. And then you had the disastrous situation on the Cotto Canelo card. Here's a big stage, and he simply could not make the weight. It's still mysterious that his body seems to be rebelling against the process of making weight. And in fact, he told us yesterday at the hotel lobby, Doug, it happened again for this fight.
Right, yeah, he goes to bed at a certain weight and he wakes up and he's heavier. He actually weighed in at 124 pounds. That's the featherweight limit. Now his goal for his second world title, Steve, is junior featherweight, which is the 122-pound limit. And we're gonna see how he fights after being out of the ring for more than a year and fighting at the heaviest weight of his professional career. We're also going to see, Steve, if just psychologically, if he can put all of the setbacks and disappointments of 2015 behind him. I think that's very important. In fact, I think it's key. He's definitely got his game face on.
And according to Ring TV, how do you guys have those super bantams, Doug?
The number one guy is actually rated in our pound-for-pound rankings at number 9, Shinsuke Yamanaka.
From Fantasy Springs Resort Casino, Indio, California. This is the main event of the evening. 10 rounds of boxing this scheduled in the featherweight division. Presentada por, brought to you by Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions. Patrocinado por and sponsored by Tecate Born Ball. sancionado por la Comisión Atlética del Estado de California, sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission, Director, the Chairman, John Carvelli, y Director Ejecutivo, the Executive Officer, Andy Foster. Los tres jueces por ese combate, the three judges scoring this bout at ringside, David Denkin, Pat Russell, and Fernando Villarreal. And when the bell rings and the action begins, your referee in charge, encargado de ring referee from Bassett, California, Ray Corona. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the judges are ready and the fighters are ready. Indio, California, make some noise if you are ready! Presentando primero la esquina azul, con los pantaloncillos rojo con negro y dorado y un peso de 122 libras y 3/4. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing tonight red trunks, trimmed in gold and black. He weighed in officially 122 3/4 pounds. Su récord, 15 victorias, una derrota, un empate y 6 ganadas por nocaut. He brings an outstanding record into the ring in 17 bouts. He has 15 victories, 1 defeat, 1 draw with 6 wins coming by way of knockout. Presentando de Ciudad de México, México, Ruben Garcia. Y su oponente en la esquina roja, con los pantaloncillos blanco con café, un peso de 124 libras. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wears tonight white with brown. He weighed in officially 124 pounds even. Su récord perfecto con 22 victorias, 13 ganadas por nocaut. He is perfect in the ring, 22 bouts, 22 victories, no defeats with 13 big wins coming by way of knockout. El ex campeón FIB Peso Gallo. He is the former IBF Bantamweight Champion of the World, the Fighting Pride of Coachella, California. El invicto, presentando el matador, Ruben Caballero.
Let's go, Randy.
Aquí está bien, right here is good. Touch gloves. God bless.
Referee Ray Corona with the instructions. We get ready to go for our main event tonight, and let's check out the tail of the tape, Dougie.
Yeah, they're both young guys. Ruben Garcia is actually 3 years younger at age 22. They're the same height at 5'6", and Garcia has a longer reach.
Randy El Matador Caballero, born in Coachella. His dad, Marcos, from Nicaragua. Comes from a boxing family. Dad had a couple professional fights. His older brother, Robert, also a boxer. His younger brother, Ramel, a very highly touted amateur standout here in Coachella. But tonight it's all about Randy Caballero. He's in the white trunks. Taking on Ruben Garcia, 15-1-1, 6 KO'd for the fighter from Mexico City. His last fight, he went across the pond to Germany and knocked out Richard Varos in a first round KO. Randy, as we mentioned, his last fight, because of injuries, because of what happened to him, he fought Stuart Hall in Monaco for the IBF title. Went over there, nobody there. Told me a story that he found 2 people that were vacationing in Monaco. They were from Nicaragua, and they said, "Okay, sure, we'll come to a fight." We don't. Anyway,
Hold the flag up for me.
so he had 2 people in his corner supporting him that night. Besides his father and Roberto Diaz. So.
It was a sensational performance. He showed that he could box, that he could fight on the inside, that he could stick and move, and he had to show all the facets of his game against Stuart Hall because that was a world-class fighter. That was a former champion. And it just showed that Caballero was truly world-class by outpointing a veteran like that.
Yeah, Doug, he looks really strong right now. Some of these shots are visibly affecting Garcia, and his legs are already giving out, Beto.
Randy landing some bigger shots, fighting at a heavier weight. Question was if he was going to have the power. And here he is, uppercut. Randy Caballero in the white lands a big left, stuns Garcia. Garcia is bouncing around. He has no legs right now. as Randy Caballero, fighting for the first time in his hometown since 2013, that he needs to put on a show, and he's doing it here in the first round, landing some big shots against the face of Ruben Garcia.
I don't think he's missed a single punch.
Garcia's face hasn't. Randy Caballero missed last year. He had a cyst in his leg that needed to be removed, had that surgery, and then he injured himself coming back too soon as the leg was unable to support that weight. In training, had to cancel a couple of fights. Uppercut from Randy Caballero, a stand-up kid who took ownership of what happened at the scales in Las Vegas on the Cotto Canelo undercard. Hasn't shied away from it. That he reads all the criticism. A lot of people saying now you're the typical guy who can't make weight.
You know what I like about him in this first round is he hasn't taken any of that negativity or any of those disappointments into the ring with him. He's not over anxious. It's not like he's looking to make up for lost time. He's taking his time and he's dominating doing so.
Good opening round for Randy El Matador Caballero, the 22-0 fighter with 13 KOs, fighting in Coachella at the Fancy Springs Resort and Casino in India. Let's see what matchmaker Roberto Diaz was thinking. We're putting these two together.
With Garcia, you see a kid only has one loss. His last fight got a win against a bad record, but prior to that was undefeated. He's young. He knows this is the opportunity for him to make a name for himself. He's going to come in here with everything. Those are most dangerous fighters. Nothing to lose, everything to win. Randy, on the other side, his first fight at 122, his first fight in over a year, first fight back home. There's a lot of questions to be answered from him, saying basically, I want to show all the critics wrong, everybody who didn't, trust me, believe in me. I want to show them wrong. I want to go in there and look explosive. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that Randy that's going to come out here, make a statement, and say, okay, 118, that's behind, 122, I'm here, I'm ready to win a world title. Garcia's not a big puncher. I'm just hoping that they find each other. They come in and bring it to each other, that we don't have Randy chasing after somebody.
Second round action coming your way, brought to you by ringtv.com. Visit ringtv.com for more great boxing content throughout the week. Randy Caballero owns a barber shop in the Coachella Valley called Matador Cuts. Zachary Ochoa from Brooklyn, a Golden Boy prospect, is watching and he wants a free haircut. Nope, Zachary, you got to earn your way, baby, if you're going to fight out here. Also tuning in right now, 2012 Olympian from South El Monte and a fighter that's put on some great shows on Ring TV Live, Joseph Jojo Diaz. Follow his Snapchat. You can see him working out twice a month. Exciting news coming his way soon. Stay tuned for Joseph Diaz. He's along with his dad, his trainer, and his mom. Says that he's liking this one's going to be a great fight. And so far, Randy Caballero is looking good.
Yeah, he's hitting Garcia at will, and he's not being hit in return, at least not a lot. Very relaxed. He's poised in there. He's walking his opponent down. He's not having any trouble with the reach advantage that Garcia has. Very economical with his punches. And not a lot of pitter-patting there, Steve.
No, he is really sitting down. And again, I think this is some pretty adroit matchmaking by Robert Diaz. Good-looking record, 15-1-1, but only 6 stoppages. As I like to say, there's a reason why I chose him. I have a feeling if Caballero just sits in the pocket and just goes and makes an investment to the body, this fight's not going to last very long.
You think maybe Randy wants to get some rounds out of this just to knock off some of that rust?
Well, we say that in that first round, it came out of the gate very strong. I think the key is for him in this year after that loss 2015, Doug, regardless of how long it takes to get rid of Garcia tonight, I'd like to see him scheduled within 8 weeks. I think basically he has to start over and work his way back up the ratings at 122.
I love his body shots in this round.
Randy Caballero started boxing because his dad took him to the gym with long-time Coachella Valley legend out here, Lee Espinoza. Still trains at the same gym he walked in. This is his 13th fight here at Fancy Springs. So when you say that he's made his name here and the casino's made his name with him,
it's his home.
It's family here.
He was developed here. Golden Boy Promotions developed a world champion right here in the event center.
A near sellout at the event center at Fantasy Springs Resort and Casino. Good sized crowd on Friday night. Watching the hometown kid. Good shots landed by Garcia though. Randy going to the body. A little bit low, says I'm sorry. Final seconds of the second round. It's scheduled for 10 in the featherweight division. Look at the replays from the first 2 rounds.
Caballero stalking Garcia, measuring him for a hook-cross combination. He gets Garcia against the ropes and lands another hook-cross combination. Garcia taps him to the body, not with a lot of power. Caballero scoring with the lead right, and then right hands to the body. Left hooks that graze the chin of Garcia. And that's his father and trainer, Marcos Caballero, born in Nicaragua, now makes his home here in the Coachella Valley. And his son, Steve, is the best amateur to have come out of Coachella Valley in several decades, maybe ever.
After Randy won his IBF title in Monaco, they went to Nicaragua, was met by the president, private plane, gets off of there and just treated like a conquering son, which he was. Even though Randy was born in the United States, a lot of pride and being from Nicaragua. It was just one of the most awesome feelings because they were able to go back and meet family that he had never met before. His dad goes back there and brings his son. One thing is cool, you bring your son to the United States, he's accomplished. Oh, by the way, he's an IBF world champion.
Yeah.
Well, no longer, forget about the past now. It's the 3rd round, and you're in there with Ruben Garcia as you're moving into a new weight division, which is the 122nd pound division. And this 3rd round is brought to you by Ring Magazine. At the Ring Magazine, the Bible of Boxing since 1922. Subscribe today. Great issues every single month. And 122, Doug, who are the names out there?
At 122 pounds,
I got 2 right off the bat. February 27th, they meet in what I think will be a fantastic battle between Scott Quigg and Carl Frampton.
Yeah.
I think that is the UK version of Barrera Morales or Vasquez Marquez.
Really?
I think that is a must-see fight. And also, Doug, we have an old star by the name of Nonito Donaire, who's back to 122.
Right, he's moving back down to junior featherweight.
And then get ready to groan because everyone's poison, Guillermo Rigondeaux.
Well, he is, and Rigondeaux, at least for the time being, is the Ring Magazine champion at junior featherweight. But Scott Quigg and Carl Frampton are number 1 and number 2 rated contenders.
And after 2 rounds, how do you guys have it, Doug?
Caballero, he's just landing the harder punches in both rounds.
Doug, I have it exactly the same, 20-18. I was almost tempted to make it 10-8 in the first as he banged around Garcia pretty badly. Good body shot with the right hand again. You know, one thing I really like is the development of Caballero with his feet. I remember early in his career, he was very skittish, would jump up and down, wouldn't really plant his feet. I thought in the second half, Doug, of the Stewart Hall fight, he actually grew up and became a real professional right in front of our eyes. He had to gut that fight out in the championship round.
I agree. A lot of people didn't even give him, were saying he shouldn't even be in that fight, but he had to win the IBF Eliminator. There you see his wife, daughter, and son. Caught up with him yesterday. He said his son doesn't really like watching his dad fight, that he'd rather play baseball. Randy, you gonna let your son fight? He's like, no chance at all. The family isn't allowed at his gym to train. He said, keep him away from that. Go do your homework. Let your dad be the one fighting, not you guys. 30 seconds to go. 3rd round scheduled for 10. Randy Caballero looking good. El Matador.
I would say he just got caught with a shot, left hand from Garcia. Took it well. Garcia, as we've said, is not a puncher. It's good to see Garcia at least returning some fire finally. But so far this fight, Steve, the story is the body attack from Randy Caballero.
Oh, what happened here?
Ring TV Live is brought to you by Filmon.com. Visit Filmon.com to watch over 1,000 channels of live programming, including the new Ring TV and Golden Boy channels. Ring TV Live, powered by Filmon.com. Bethel Duran, Doug Fisher, Steve Kim on the mic. Will Wright leading the way. David and Scott Tatro, Executive Vice President and Vice President of the digital side for Golden Boy Promotions, of course, all led by our chairman and founder and Hall of Famer and birthday boy yesterday, Oscar De La Hoya. We're in the 4th round and scheduled for 10. Randy Caballero looking good in his first fight since 2014. In the long layoff, moves up a division. This one was agreed to at 124. That's where they're at.
It looks like Randy is getting into his rhythm. I think he's moving a little bit quicker. He's attacking with a little more purpose. His feet are a little bit lighter and quicker than they were. He was a little bit plodding in rounds 1 and 2. Very effective, landing heavy shots. But now he seems to be in full attack mode. Yeah, he's evading shots and landing. He just missed a shot there.
Golden Boy has a stable of fighters in that 22, 26 range. There's some here tonight.
There's Jojo Diaz,
who's watching us right now.
There's Julian Ramirez,
who fought last week with a win.
There's Tino Avila.
That's right, from Fairfield, Tino Avila.
He's fought here before.
Yes, he has. And across from us, Dougie, Diego De La Hoya.
Right.
We're going to see him on February 19th at the Belasco Theater in downtown Los Angeles. A great card there. And also a little bit heavier, Chimpa Gonzalez is here ringside. So a good young crop of fighters that Golden Boy, Roberto Diaz, and Eric Gomez have signed to restock the shelves at the office in downtown Los Angeles.
And these young men are developing fast, just as Randy did. Because I was one of those folks. So I guess you could call me a naysayer, where I thought it was a little bit too soon for him to travel overseas and to fight someone like Stuart Hall. But he proved himself in that fight.
You know what was impressive about that 2-fight run, Doug, is that you don't see American fighters do this nearly as much as they used to. He went over to Japan to fight a contender, scored a stoppage over a tough, respected guy.
I think you kind of have to at these lighter weight classes.
You do, because that's where the business is really based in terms of the economic prowess. But there's so many fighters that will not fight within 50-mile radius outside their area code. To actually do that early is pretty impressive.
Yeah, Golden Boy is bringing up these young fighters at the Belasco in downtown, LA Fight Club, here at the Fantasy Springs Resort and Casino. You're watching these local kids grow up. Also, March 5th, you're going to see the East Coast fighters, Lamont Roach and
Damon Allen
Jr. on that card.
Yeah. And Demetrius Ballard, the super middleweight.
Big
the other Big Meech.
Final seconds of the round. So the cup is full in Golden Boy. Resort Casino, Bethel Duran, Doug Fisher, and Steve Kim. Randy Caballero looking good in this fight, his first fight in a few years. New division. There you see the crowd fired up for him, for Randy Caballero. This is the 5th round, and this round is brought to you by the new cool app, Pixie. Pixie, live curiously.
Liking the jab from Randy. Just firing it to the head, to the chest, and the stomach. And I get the feeling he does want to go rounds here, Steve.
He does. One thing that I mentioned this couple of rounds ago, Randy Caballero now knows how to fight at a professional pace. I think that was an issue. That's an issue for a lot of young amateurs as they come out and they learn the ropes here, as he digs another good left hook. Just looking ahead, let's say a year from now, as he moves up to 122 ranks, his style, I think, fits in very well with the likes of Quigg, Frampton, Donaire, even Jesse Magdaleno. There's some fights to be made at 122.
That's one of the quotes Randy had. He said, when you move up to that 22, it's almost as you get a little bit more respect because there's more people excited about this division. Ruben Garcia from Mexico City, El DF, went up to the mountains of Mexico City, found that rarefied air, worked on it for this round, for this fight, his training camp. His only loss was in 2015 in October, a decision against Rafael Rivera. That was his first fight in the United States. Rivera undefeated. That was a fight that happened in California, and one of the other ones had been in Mexico.
He must be in shape because he's taken some choice shots to the body and the chin. He's still in there, trying to make something happen. He's the kind of fighter he needs distance to get anything on his punches. He's not able to really establish that distance. And one thing I'm noticing about Caballero that I didn't see in the opening rounds is that his head and upper body movement are better now. So he is literally fighting himself back into the shape and form that he had in 2014. It's gradual.
Youth is on his side. He's 25 years old. Been a pro since 2010. Referee breaker on separating them. Mention the calendar. Also, we'll be back at the Fantasy Springs Resort and Casino March 25th. Antonio Orozco will be the main event. Here you get your tickets for that one. It'll be a Friday night. Final seconds of the 5th round. It's scheduled for 10 between Randy Caballero, Ruben Garcia, and Indio. Ring TV Live is brought to you by the Ring Magazine. There you see Tyson Fury. That's your cover boy. The 2015 Ring Magazine Fighter of the Year. Subscribe today at ringtv.com. It arrives every month. Thank you very much, Doug Fisher, for sending that. Love it. I get it one day before everybody else, but hey, I read it as soon as I can.
We just got Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King and heavyweight champ, his personalized version of the Ring Magazine belt earlier this week. Got a lot of press coverage in the UK.
Tyson Fury. It's a man not lost for words. Also not lost for words, Steve Kim. He has a podcast with Mario Lopez. Make sure you listen to 3 Knockdown Rule. Every Monday, right, Steve?
Yes, and you can't forget the one I do long time with Gabe Montoya, the next round.
That's the one I listen to. I wash my dishes and cook dinner.
I'm glad I could be of service, Doug.
2 hours of you and Gabe and some great callers.
The callers make the show, Steve.
Especially Jimmy's Corner. I want to give a shout out to him. He's actually watching us right now. Jimmy D, I'm thinking about you.
Is that the guy from Boston?
Yes, it is.
Oh, he's the man. No, he is. He's really good. He's knowledgeable.
There's some good tweets from Jimmy D. Bethel Duran, Doug Fisher, and Steve Kim. We're watching Randy Caballero and Ruben Garcia. How do you have it scored, Doug?
Through 5 rounds, it's all Randy Caballero. It's 5-0. He's just in control, complete command. He's landing the punches and evading most of the fire back from Garcia.
And guys, I'm actually a little bit surprised how after round 1, he seemed to be out almost on his feet to a certain degree. Garcia, he's still around, but I think every round has been won easily by Randy Caballero.
Ruben Garcia in the red with the gold trim from Mexico City. Born in 1993, his corner yelling at Rubencito, vamos, let's go. Need to pick up the pace here against Randy Caballero, who's pitching a shutout in Coachella. They get tangled up, they go down, referee Ray Corona right there. I'm gonna watch out with that elbow, with the slip. There we go in the 6th round.
The guy knows how to fall. That was a nice backwards somersault.
Little Model Metal-esque.
Yeah, he must be in shape because he has taken some hard shots and he's dealing with it. He's just not able to get any sort of offense going. I would describe him as pesky.
No, he is pesky. And he was actually doing a pretty good job of riding out the right hand of Caballero. Caballero needs to start investing more left hooks to the body because every time he goes for that finishing shot with that overhand right, as he lands a good left hook, you see Garcia is able to slip and evade it.
Garcia is going to have to get that right hand up and be careful about pulling back straight up. Needs to tuck that chin, roll out to either side. If he backs straight up, Randy will nail him with a hook or a straight right.
Randy Caballero on the wide, Garcia complaining. Starting to get a little rough in there.
Yeah, Randy can be a rough guy. He can be a rough customer in there.
Good action in Indio. Caballero, Garcia. The 7th round, that's where we're headed between Randy Caballero and Ruben Garcia. And the 7th round is brought to you by ringtv.com. Make sure to visit ringtv.com for more great boxing content throughout the week. We mentioned that we're back here March 25th. Also, we'll be back here, actually not even back here, making his debut at Fantasy Springs. Golden Boy fighter Emilio Sanchez from San Fernando. He will be making his Fantasy Springs debut, training at the Rock Gym in Carson, California. Doug, you saw him actually spar out there recently. And his younger brother, Sal, is no longer an amateur. He turns pro tomorrow, the 18-year-old Sal Sanchez. But right now, we're watching Randy Caballero and Ruben Garcia. Caballero's controlled this fight, landing an uppercut as Garcia's still there. A blow by Garcia. Randy jumps on him. And referee Ray Corona is going to have to separate him. But Randy felt that one and just went after him.
Yeah, Caballero didn't care for that. Answered back immediately with rage. Prior to that low blow from Garcia, he was scoring very well with compact hooks.
Right hand landed by Garcia. Pushing away. Randy with a sweeping left hook that misses, but the uppercut does. Body shot in the corner on the ropes is Garcia. Randy, a little nice combination.
I think Caballero smells blood.
Yes, he
Goes
does.
down, a knockdown by Randy Caballero. Garcia goes down for the first time in the fight. Here in the 7th. You mentioned he might have smelled blood. He landed a big shot. Referee Ray Corona wiping the gloves of Garcia, and here's Randy. The Matador is stalking. Nice left shot.
He's looking to close the show.
Garcia's trying to hold on. Randy's trying to push him off of him. Trying to close this show in front of the hometown crowd. He sold a lot of tickets. Got to give him something to get excited about.
Garcia being cagey, he was holding with his left hand and hitting with his right on the inside where Corona couldn't see it. But one thing I've noticed about Caballero is in fights that go 10 rounds or more, he usually has a mid-fight surge around the 7th round.
His last fight he went 12. That was against Stuart Hall when he won the title in 2014. Here we're in the 7th, and Randy Caballero is controlling this fight, this round. See Ruben Garcia trying to hold on, trying to catch his breath, trying to hold on, and
Getting
he gets
overwhelmed,
dropped.
yes.
Randy Caballero with the big right drops Garcia for the second time this round. Garcia's in survival mode, trying to do anything he can to catch his breath. He's actually spit out his mouthpiece right now. Referee Ray Corona is just reprimanding him. Gonna have the water to clean out the mouthpiece. Now that's a veteran move right there. You get dropped and you spit out the mouthpiece. 19 seconds to go. Garcia down twice in the 7th round. Randy Caballero trying to finish up the fight. 10 seconds to go. Garcia is holding on. Dropped twice in this big round for Randy Caballero. It's scheduled for 10. How many more can Garcia go? Big round for the fighter from Nicaragua. His crowd is fired up. His mom and dad are fired up.
And his offense was fired up in round 7 where he visibly shifted gears. Let's take a look at it. Highlights from round 7, right to the body, grazing.
And the
This
fight
is
is
the first
over.
knockdown.
Referee Ray Corona signals that the fight is over. No for replay. Randy Caballero with a KO, a TKO, in his return to the ring in more than 2 years.
It's a good stoppage.
Doug, I thought this was a solid, steady performance. I thought he got the requisite rounds. I thought he got his feet wet. I thought he got better in the latter half of this performance, started to put things together, and if he could make 122, I think sooner rather than later, he could be a player in the junior featherweight
Yes, he
division.
can, absolutely. He can be a force at junior featherweight.
Randy Caballero dropped Ruben Garcia twice in the 7th round, and the corner stops it. There you see him with his family. So congratulations to Randy Caballero. Matador is now 23-0 with 14 KOs. A new division. Said he wanted to make a statement against a scrappy opponent, Ruben Garcia. There you see his daughter. He said that's his fighter. He said the youngest one is the biggest fighter.
Okay.
Aren't they always, Doug?
Yes, that's true.
We'll come back with ring announcer Joe Martinez on a good night for Randy Caballero in Indio. A lot of criticism of Randy Caballero when he lost his belt on the scales. He moves up a division, said he had to make a statement, and he does that. Here. Ring.
Referee Ray Corona calls this bout your winner, declared by KO victory and still undefeated Coachella Zone, El Matador, Randy Caballero.
El Matador, Randy Caballero, he is now 23-0 for the first time fighting in his hometown since 2013. Big crowd. They were here to see him, and he got it done. As the crowd is fired up for him, there you see the entire crowd. His dad is trainer in the red. There you see his younger brother, Romel, the touted amateur. Those 3 kids are Randy's 3 kids and their family affair. There you see the flag of Nicaragua where his dad was born. It really is a family there. You can see that's the kid he doesn't want to box.
Right.
He said, you play baseball, son, but you can watch me. And there you go, see. We'll be talking with Randy soon. A good performance for him, Doug. And
Yes, he
we
delivered.
saw the first couple rounds where he knocked out that rust and then came on strong.
Yeah, I think he felt some ring rust and he took his time, but at the same time, he dominated. Landed a lot of heavy shots in the opening round, and we're going to look at some replays from the entire 7 rounds of action that we got, and it was one-sided action dictated by Randy Caballero. There he is swarming Garcia in the corner, right to the body, right to the head. It was probably the right to the body that produced this first knockdown in round 7.
And Doug, I think in many ways this is the perfect type of comeback return fight after a long layoff. You face a guy competent enough to land, land a few punches, but not really a puncher. So you're never in any danger.
I like how he caught Ruben Garcia on the move with that sort of hybrid right hook, right uppercut. I like that. There's always a lot of wrinkles to Randy Caballero. He is, there was a South African broadcaster who described his style as thus: a boxer fighter.
Yeah.
During his 12 rounds with Stuart Hall.
And you see the angles of his punches. He found crevices, openings and cracks to really land, I wouldn't say traditional combinations, but I think Randy Caballero, to go back to where he stands at 122, that is a solid division. And there's Oscar De La Hoya, who has to be happy with what he saw tonight. And I think, again, within due time, as he moves up in the rankings at 122, he fits right in stylistically to make some very good prize fights.
That's true. The standout, with the exception of the Cuban lefty,
who's the poison. He is poison.
Most of the fighters who campaign on the world-class level at 122 pounds, they're aggressive. But they're a lot like Randy Caballero in that there is technique, there is skill. You look at a Carl Frampton, he's really a boxer, but he can go out there and get it. Scott Quigg, same thing. A guy who's versatile, a switch hitter, kind of rangy, likes to work the body, just like we saw from Caballero. Now, Caballero's not ready for that British duo yet. Not ready for those UK standouts, but I tell you what, maybe mid-year, maybe towards the end of 2016, I'd like to see him in with a lower top 10 junior featherweight contender.
We'll be catching up with Randy Caballero soon. Hello to the titlefight.com, which is in Boise, Idaho. Thank you for everybody that's watching us tonight. We do appreciate it. We do read all your tweets. We do see them. Even the ones that we can't repeat on air, we do see those. Keep it coming. We appreciate everything. I'm Durant Sports, Dougie I.E. Fisher, and Steve UCN Live. And this was a good night. For Randy Caballero, we still have bonus coverage coming your way. Still have Shea Mosley Jr. and Hector Tanajara Jr. coming your way, and that's the Spanish interview. We'll stick with English for Randy. He does speak Spanish, but we don't want Doug to show off all his Rosetta Stone that he's been using. Doug does speak boxeo, right?
Yes, boxeo.
So, boxeo.
Not Espanol, but boxeo.
We'll keep it English for Randy Caballero, who's making his way on over here. And Randy Caballero is actually coming this way. He can at least take the gloves off. Somebody help the kid take the gloves off. Put your headset on.
Still ready to go.
Yeah.
I mean, this might be the first time we interview somebody when they still got their gloves on.
I feel good, man. I feel good. Thanks for the victory. I feel good, and I'm still ready to go.
Randy Caballero, first time you fight in Coachella since 2013. I know you wanted to put on a show. Take us through that 7th round.
You know what? It was, I could say it was a learning experience. You know what? Being off for so long, I kind of felt the ring rust. I didn't think I was going to feel it, being the fact that I was in the gym over and over. But you know what? Inside the ring is totally different. And being back after so long, I felt good. I did get to feel it in the beginning, but after each round went on, you know what? I felt a lot better, and that's why I got that stoppage.
You're going to see some replays from here. Tell us what you're seeing.
I see a hungry fighter that wants to come and win a world title again. I want to be a world champion again, and I gave it all I could. This guy, I'm not taking anything away from him. He's a tough guy. He came to fight. This is a guy I walked into. I had no idea what he was going to bring. No videos, no nothing of seeing what he was going to bring. And we trained for the best. We trained for anybody that they put in front of me, and this guy gave it his all. Luckily I came out with the victory, the stoppage, and set it aside that, I want to come back and win a world title, and I'm going to make it happen.
Garcia was obviously motivated to last. He was obviously in good shape. He was crafty. He was pesky, so he took you rounds. Did you want to go those rounds?
Oh, definitely.
Having been out of the ring for so long.
Definitely, that's what I wanted. Being away for a year and a half, it was tough. I was just anxious to come back. So much was bottled in me that I wanted to come back. And thank God, he took me to the 7th round, and I got that stoppage. My body felt good. I could have went to 10, but thank God I got that stoppage. And this was all for my fans out here in the Coachella Valley. All the support that you can see, we sold this arena out. And that's what I love. I love my fans. This fight's for you guys, and we're going to become a world champion. You guys in the Coachella Valley will see another world champion. I promise you guys that.
El Matador, Randy Caballero. First of all, first time you fight here since 2013.
Very long
the first
time.
time you fight since 2014. a new weight division at 122. How did you feel with the weight? Did you feel stronger, or what was the full effect from that?
Definitely, I feel stronger. You know what? A lot of people might say, hey, there's only 4 pounds. But as for a fighter, 4 pounds is a lot. A pound, 2 ounces is a lot for a fighter. And you know what? I felt a lot better. I felt stronger. And like I said, I'm ready to make a name for myself at 122. And like I said, I'm going to win a world title. And that's my goal. I won a world title at 118. I was IBF Bantamweight World Champion. Sadly, what happened, I'm sorry for everybody that I disappointed that time. I don't know what happened. It happened. I'm going to leave it behind me, and I'm going to become a world champion again.
Leave that in 2015. 2016 could be Randy Caballero's year. Coachella Valley, your own Randy El Matador Caballero with a 7th round KO. We'll be back on Ring TV Live from Indio.